Well, it's a new week, so let's take a look at MSTY and get our updates as the distribution rate shows 143.11%. Hello, my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to take a look at MSTY, MSTR, and Bitcoin and see where everything sets. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into the spreadsheet and take a look. Okay, so we're looking at the MSTY MSTY Webull chart here. And as you can see, we did have a nice little green candle here today. So that was a good sign to see. We did move up 1.35%, which is only 29 cents, but still 1.35% for the day. I'll take that. We had some nice green volume here. As you can see, that nice big green volume here. And we also are coming down a little bit on that negative momentum. This one is at minus 0.318, and this one here is a minus 0.270. So it is coming down, and that's a good sign for maybe we can get a cross up on the MACD. As you can see, it looks like it is trying to level out with a slight turn up. And it would be great if we can get that cross over that signal line before we go X on Thursday. So keep in mind, MSTY will be announcing any distributions on Wednesday that will be paying out on Friday. So if you are interested in getting that distribution for this week, those shares have to be purchased before Thursday, which is the X date. Now, with the downturn of Bitcoin and MSTR being down a little bit in the last few days, the distribution may not be as high as it has been. I've seen estimates of about $1.30, $1.40 range, but again, that's just an estimate. But as you can see here on the chart, we do have a nice little bitty turnaround on those candles. So I'd love to see this to continually to move on back up so we can get that price up here and we can afford to take that distribution hit on the price and be able to keep it above that $20.38. Now that $20.38, the reason I want it above it is only just because that's about where it actually opened at when it first came out. If we zoom all the way out back here, you can see there's the beginning when it first opened. And it opened right there close to that $20.38. So that's the reason I'm looking for it to stay above that. And it has dropped down below it a time or two here. As you can see, it dropped below here and it dropped below over here as well. But it did recover and get back above that $20.38. Now the price movement on those candles is not necessarily the buying and selling of MSTY itself, because MSTY is just the ETF that's using MSTR to write its cover calls on. So to better understand the path going forward, we have to take a look at MSTR. But you will notice that the chart looks very similar. Okay, so here we are on MSTR. And as you can see, same as we had on MSTY, we're showing a nice little green candle here. We are showing a little bit of a turnaround on those candles, which that's a good sign. We do still have some green volume here, and the momentum is decreasing on the negative side. And as you can see here, a little bit clearer picture of that MACD. It is trying to level off with a slight turn, and if we can turn that around and cross back above that signal line, and that orange line here, that's the signal line. The blue line is the MACD line, and if we can get that cross up on that signal line, that could be a sign of the price starting to go back up and some momentum going toward the upside. And we take a look at the RSI here, and my trigger point that I use is the RSI2, and that's this yellow line here. Follow my cursor here. It is along that yellow line. So currently right now that RSI2 is at 63.47. and that's because we did have a green candle. It is moving up, so therefore that is starting to move up as well. Now your standard RSI is more along the lines of RSI 14, and that's this blue line down here in this bottom chart one, and that is setting at 48.18. So it's actually still under the midpoint of the RSI, 50 being the mid, right? If it's down below 30, it is possibly oversold. If it's above 70 on the RSI, then it's possibly overbought. And anytime that you cross over into those areas, you could have some pressure that would push it to the other direction. Doesn't mean there will be, and it doesn't mean that it will turn around once it gets to that area, as the indicators can only help you to determine where it might be going, but nobody knows where it is actually going. No indicator can tell you the future. The indicators only will tell you the past and the history, so therefore you can use that to help to make a better decision of when to buy, when to sell, and such. So I have the Bollinger Band turned on, and we are still on the bottom half of that Bollinger Band, but it is moving up, and that RSI 2 is moving up. For my buy points, and this is just for me, I'm looking for it to be on that bottom half of that Bollinger Band, which it is, but I would prefer that RSI 2 to be down below the 10, and I've drew this purple line here showing the 10 for the RSI. So if that RSI 2, which is the yellow line, gets below that 10, then for me, that could be a good buy trigger point. But again, that's just how I'm doing it. Everybody has their own ways, their own trigger points, whether it is just a price that you've set, and if it's below a certain price, it's a buy for you. That is up to you to decide. But we can use Mr. to help decide where MSTY could be going. But honestly, the two charts are almost identical. They're very similar. You can really look at either one and get the same information. Because right now we're looking at MSTR, and if I switch it to MSTY, as you can see, it looks very similar. Very similar. So let's just go ahead and we'll check out Bitcoin while we're here. And as you can see, Bitcoin is just, it's just crossing the 105. And then it'll fall back down to 104. But right now we are above the 105K. Now I had drawn this box in right here previously, stating that that's where I believe there are some buyers, because there's a lot of volume right here in this area. And if that's the case, then when that price gets into this area, that could be the point where the buyers start pushing that back on up. But we do have to keep some volatility going in Bitcoin and MSTR if we want to get those nice juicy distributions for MSTY. But currently everything's kind of been trading a little bit sideways, so therefore the IV, implied volatility, does seem to die down if Bitcoin is dropping down in price or just kind of trading sideways. But looking at the chart here, we might be seeing another push up, and if that's the case, we can start getting a little bit juicier premiums with YieldMax MSTY, and therefore that can help boost up our distributions, which that's always something I like to hear. So what do you think? Are you in MSTY? Do you have any shares in MSTY? Some of you out there, I think, might own about 10% of MSTY because of the number of shares you have. But, in my little account, it fails in comparison to some of the guys out here on my channel. But keep in mind, it's not the size of the account. It is the percentage that you are making on your account. The dollar value is just that, is just a dollar value. The percentage is the same whether you have a $1,000 account or a $100,000 account. The percentage up is the same if you have the same buy points and the same distributions and everything else, right? So that's what matters. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.